Hi. Are you looking to transition from an individual contributor or an IC to a manager, but you're still treating it like a regular promotion and not a career change? I've seen a lot of managers fail during the first year of their transition because they try to do both the old job and the same job at the same time. After being at Amazon for 10 years and transitioning from an SDE, which is IC, to an SDM, I've realized you don't need to put in a lot more hours when you do this transition. You just need a better system to have this transition successful. So, today I'm going to break down the two pillars which distinguish you from a senior engineer and help you transition to an engineering manager. So, let's get into it. Okay, so the two pillars are people and program management. Let's start with people. I treat it as a puzzle. Have you ever played a puzzle like where you have people where you know their growth areas, strengths, and then you have projects. So an engineering manager handle a lot of projects, at least 5 to 6 projects for a two pizza team or like a team of 10 member. Now, what you have to do is just map out their skills on the best projects that you have. That's a puzzle that you have to keep playing and keep revisiting it every few weeks when you are starting with, or then every few quarters or every few months. So put the pieces right. Identify your high performers. Keep them always busy. Just don't burn them out. Don't always assign them like some execution task, but let them figure out the complexity. Let them have their own vision. Don't always tell them what exactly is to be done, and they'll always be motivated to accomplish this. Then you have your performers who have been recently promoted, new into the role, and you have to keep them engaged. So figure out like what is needed because they just got into this role or they just got hired. So what is needed for them to properly ramp up and map them to those kind of projects. Work really hard on your low performers. With the right set of coaching, you can easily transform a low performer into at least an average and sometimes even a high performer. Maybe they're just missing some coaching. So, identify those low risk projects where you can risk these projects with the low performers, because of course you have to do the trade off between the deliverables as well. But these projects are sometimes have these complexity. They don't have a lot of impact, but they do have a lot of complexity, and help them guide them with the mentors, because at the end of the day what the team delivers becomes your success. So identify the different kind of people, the different kind of projects, and keep playing the puzzle game. Okay, one tip. Because you have been an IC before, you know the engineers are smart. You just need to set the vision and priorities. You tell them what is to be done. Don't involve too much on how it is to be done. You need to slightly delegate that and learn how to delegate that of the how part to the engineers, because they're really smart and they'll figure them out. You figure out if they need some help, but don't enforce any mechanisms and let them find their way out. And have regular one-on-ones. Be an active listener. Don't treat your engineers as resources. They are the investment which will help you build a long-term team who would be able to deliver like multi-year projects with them. So be an active listener, be involved in their growth and everything, and don't treat them as resources. So the second pillar is program management. This is where you learn how to navigate through the ambiguity. There's a project, 8 to 10 teams involved. Now, how do you move forward from here? Communication is the key skill, but I'll break down it into another three parts. The first thing is you need to start working backwards. You always have to start from the business problem. You need to have a change in the mindset. You can't start working backwards from the code anymore. You need to start working backwards from the problem statement or the business problem. You need to involve the senior engineers or whosoever, like tenured engineers, to understand the tech complexity and then move forward. So I think working backward, then you have to do the trade-off analysis, and then you can come and create or build a roadmap. So now your responsibility is not just solving the tech complexity, but coming up with a roadmap and a working backward plan. Okay, so the next part is bandwidth allocation. We discussed about it slightly in people management, but I just want to add you need to keep track of your weekly, monthly, and quarterly bandwidth allocation, and give that visibility also to the leadership that about how you are managing your team's bandwidth. Okay. So not everything is on happy path. So you should have a way to communicate if your project turns red, what is the part to green? Why did it turn red? And your communication should go as early as possible. And the part to green should also come up with the proposals. So now you as a manager has more ownership on delivering that project. Of course, of course the engineers also have that ownership, but as a manager you have to ensure the delivery, and then you start moving and trading off the option. So you are the bridge between the product manager and the engineers. So now when you know the project is turning red, you need to come up with the trade-off options, have those discussions with the product managers. So this is a mindset shift. You need to understand that your success now depends on what your team delivers. You need to share the credit. You need to shield the team wherever possible, and which is where you would be able to deliver or create high performing, high potential teams for longer run. The shift from IC to manager is the hardest jump in your career, but it is probably the most rewarding. If you are looking for this transition and would need a one on one coaching, or if you're looking for some mock interviews on system design or bar raiser interviews, feel free to reach out to me at mindfultechlife@gmail.com. I'll also link it in the description box below. Thank you.